Hey there, welcome to this episode, and today we are doing a very general overview of the effects. I'm not going to do a deep dive into every single effect. I'll do that in another video. And the same with our buses here. I'm going to talk all about how you set that up in a separate episode where we just dive a little bit deeper. Today this is kind of for the beginners, so if you're looking for your effects, you want to turn them on, change the parameters, just the very basics, this is what you need. So our effects here are on these kind of 6 buttons either side of the main display, and you'll notice coming straight out the box, if you just bought one of these, we have some kind of presets already here. So filter plus drive, a resonator, delay, isolator, the DJ effects looper, and then MFX, which I'll get to in a second. Now you will also notice that when it's enabled it lights up, and also that when I pick one of these in this kind of global kind of form, I can apply my effects, but only one at a time. Now, when you set up your buses and things, you can apply multiple effects, and again, that'll be in another video. But for now, notice that I can only choose one of these at a time. Now, just because we have the isolator here and filter and drive, these are assignable. So ultimately, you can change filter and drive to a compressor, vinyl sim, whatever you like as kind of, your favorites. You can actually swap these out. However, the text will always remain the same, so it can be a little bit confusing. Keep that in mind. When we come here to the MFX menu, that acts a little bit differently. So we have our presets here that we can go through. When I press MFX, you'll notice it opens up a menu. If I keep my finger on it there, this is all of the effects that are available through the SP-404 MKII, and there are a lot of them. So as I use this little push and enter button here, I'm just going to scroll through, and you can see I can go through essentially 3 pages worth of really, really good effects. And what's clever about this one is wherever I leave this little scroll wheel here, let's just say the wah effect or even the slicer, when I take my finger off, I have now applied that particular effect to the MFX button. So when we turn this off and on, that is what we are getting, that slicer effect. And of course, we can change that for something else. The other way that you can change it is to pick a pad, and you will notice that the pads light up here. So if you've got a favorite number that you like, we can press like say 12 here, get the crusher and load that up. You don't have to use that little scroll wheel. So a nice way of accessing. Now the other thing, and it kind of demonstrated my point for me, was that the menu window for the parameters does not stay open very long. So if you want to keep that open to play with your parameters, you can do remain here, press whatever effect it is you want to mess about with, and this little window is going to stay open for you. And using control 1 to 3 here, we can affect our, adjust our parameters with these rotary knobs. You'll also notice some little arrows down here. So if an effect has more than 3 options for it, we can use push and enter here and access another screen. And then of course you can kind of go back. So keep a lookout for those little arrows. There may be a hidden menu or a hidden option or parameter that you want to play around with, and of course it's still the same control 1 to 3 to adjust anything that you've got in there. So as you can see, this filter type we can adjust over with control 1. So that's how we find our effects here. That's how we adjust the parameters and keep this parameter window open. And we can press remain if we want to close it. You can also press exit to come out of there. And also how we can choose more than just these sort of basic default effects by pressing MFX here, scrolling through this menu, and either using this push and enter button or just, leaving it on a button here, on an effect even, and releasing, we can change the effect, or selecting one with our pads here, we can get something else. So those are the very basic functions there, how to access your effects, how to change them, how to play around with the parameters. And don't worry, I'll deep dive a little bit further in some of the other episodes. Hope you've enjoyed it. Take care, and I'll see you then.